Hello everyone, welcome to Gossip with CD. So guys, let's go to Telangana, India, and then from there we are going to shoot straight to Thailand sometime in November of 2025, where Miss Universe is going to be held. But let's start with Miss World because I am seeing a pattern that I do not like, guys. Honestly, this pattern needs to go away because it is diminishing the integrity of these two pageants, Miss World as well as Miss Universe. And I feel like at some point this needs to be spoken about. I know there are some people that might feel a little bit different about it. That's fine, that's your opinion, because this is also my opinion. I hate it that when a very capable queen is being shifted from one beauty pageant to the next because that particular country's organization wants the crown. You know, that's for me greed. Also, it takes away from a girl that deserved to go in for that specific contestation, either Miss Universe or Miss World, where they actually contested and on merits they won the national title. Honestly speaking, I find it extremely unfair that you would pick a queen that was at Miss Universe because at Miss Universe the country or the organization did not get what they want, and then they ship her to the next competition, which is Miss World. And if they don't do well in that competition, they ship her to Miss Supranational. Guys, honestly speaking, I feel like this needs to be a discussion that needs to be concluded as soon as possible because it is unfair. Let's be honest, it is very, very unfair. I don't mind when a queen that contested in Miss World, then she re-enters the national competition and win the national title and then go to the next competition. Not just yank her from this competition to the next. It's not right. It really isn't right, and I think it builds some kind of animosity behind the scenes, and people that were deserving feel like, come on, I'm the one who was supposed to have gone there. I would understand if this what had happened. There was a national competition, and then there was the first runner-up and the second runner-up and third runner-up, and then the queen, she goes for the big competition. Let's say either she gets chosen for Miss World or she gets chosen for Miss Universe. And then the first runner-up go for Miss World or go for Miss Universe. And then the third runner-up go for Miss Grand or Miss Supranational, so on and so forth. Not one girl jumping and hopping about. To me, it just does not sound moral. It doesn't sound honest. It sounds more like, hey, we are greedy and we want to dominate. It's just not, and it's unfair to the queen herself that now that you have yanked her from a big competition because she lost there, and then you are saying, okay, let's go try this other competition. I mean, seriously. And it's also unfair to the okay, maybe the fans, they don't mind because, okay, of course you can see with Miss Thailand, everybody's going goo goo gaga. And yet Miss Thailand, even though she was dethroned from Miss Universe as third runner-up, but still there's a Thai girl who's supposed to be in this competition, Miss World, that is deserving, in my opinion. All right. However, though, I feel like there are also girls that shouldn't be in Miss World, but should be in Miss Universe by just looking at them, because you can tell a Miss World material. In my previous video, I described what is a Miss World material looks like, behaves like, and even when she walks on the stage, she shows Miss World material versus Miss Universe material, who is more Hollywood, you know. So this is how I always seen it. Miss World to me, it models itself after a royal princess. That's how it always models itself in my eye, and this is my opinion. While Miss Universe models itself after Hollywood, glam and free and just, all that stuff. Worldly, if you can put it that way. And so you are having girls that you are seeing in Miss World. They're like, nah, you're supposed to be in Miss Universe. They're supposed to have put you in Miss Universe competition. And I am telling you, and I can bet my last toenail on my feet, that some of these girls who are not going to make it in Miss World 2025, you will see them in Miss Universe 2025 competing for that crown. And I've got 10 of them that I feel they are in a wrong competition. Instead, they're supposed to be in the Miss Universe competition. Who are they? I'm going to start from number 10, and my first 5, you can tell that they're supposed to be between, how do I put this? The first 5, you can tell that, okay, I understand why they are competing for Miss World, because they got that je ne sais quoi for Miss World, but they are more Miss Universe material than they are Miss World. Okay, let's start with my number 10. That will be Miss World Philippines. Krishna is supposed to be in Miss Universe 2025 competition, and if she entered Miss Universe 2025 competition, I believe she would walk away with the crown. I sincerely believe that. That's how beautiful she is, and man, her body is of Miss Universe, and also her demeanor and her persona screams Miss Universe to me. And then number 9, Miss Jamaica. Miss Jamaica is popping in Miss World, and I see why she's popping in Miss World, because the fans, they are also kind of like seeing a familiarity, but this familiarity is in the wrong competition, and that is why she's kind of like popping. But she deserves to be in Miss Universe because she's Miss Universe material. Same goes with my number 8, which is Brazil. Pedrosa, girl, you are in the wrong competition. In as much as I love your advocacy for education and the stuff that you've done, giving 5 bursaries or scholarships to young people to proceed with their education, you have done more than I can ever imagine. But no, girl, you're supposed to be in Miss Universe. That is just my opinion. At number 7, Miss Turkey. Miss Turkey as well, wrong competition. You're supposed to be in Miss Universe. If not Miss Universe, at least Miss Supranational. Supranational. For Miss Brazil, either Miss Universe or Miss Grand, because you are giving me those 2 vibes of Miss Grand, even though I'm not a fan of Miss Grand. And now I'm more than ever not a fan of Miss Grand after what happened to Rachel Gupta, the former reigning queen of Miss Grand. I watched that video. We might talk about it probably after Miss World, because I don't want to dilute what's happening in Telangana with this guy Nawat of Miss Grand. Okay, let's move on. Miss Turkey, you belong to Miss Universe. And then number 6, and understandably why she's in Miss World, not Miss Universe, is Miss France. Miss France Agatha, girl, you too. You look to me more like a Miss Universe, possibly even the winner of Miss Universe. Behavior, attitude, demeanor, the beauty, the body, your experience, the free spirit. I love it for you in Miss Universe, not Miss World, unfortunately. Now, the next 5 girls, they are not supposed to be in Miss World at all, because they are not Miss World material, period. And some of y'all might get upset with me, but that's okay, because you know why? It's my opinion. Number 5, Miss Scotland. Beautiful red hair. Oh, I love redheads. Love redheads. Always been the love of my life since I was in primary school. But That redhead is needed in Miss Universe, and you are beautiful for Miss Universe, not Miss World, Miss Scotland. At number 4, this is the one some people are going to wrestle me with, Miss Indonesia. Miss Indonesia, if you said to me, and I was doing this top 10 possible winners, and we're doing this in Miss Universe, and this Miss Indonesia is in Miss Universe, I would agree with you that she will take the Miss Universe crown because she is Miss Universe material, Miss Universe material, not Miss World. You can fight me on that one. You can go ahead and fight me on that one. Again, it's my opinion. And then at number 3, I was trying to figure out this girl for the longest time because she will come into my list and she would disappear, come back and disappear, and I don't like that. I like when I notice a queen, she remains in the lists, just like how Miss Sri Lanka remained in my list since I started, because she's consistent in the way when I look at her, she is Miss World material. There you cannot argue it. And I would be very disappointed if Sri Lanka took her to Miss Universe. She does not belong there. She's not that material of Miss Universe. Get another girl for Miss Universe, not Anuda. How is it Anudi? Please don't do that to her, I beg. But Miss Cote d'Ivoire at number 3 is Miss Universe material. I see in her walk, I see it also her attitude and demeanor that Miss World, it's more mellowed down for a character and personality like hers, not Miss World. Miss Universe, definitely. And then at number 2, this is a huge surprise for some people. It might be Miss Japan. Miss Japan does not belong in Miss World. She belongs in Miss Universe. And I hope that, let me just make that statement in the end. Miss Japan or Japan organization itself needs to rethink its girls when they're sending them to Miss World. Look, study, and understand how Miss World operates so that you send the appropriate candidate. And my number 1, and I've said this from the beginning when I saw her, I was like, girl, you are in the wrong competition. Wrong competition. You belong to Miss Universe. And that is Miss Nigeria. Miss Nigeria, she is fun. She's free-spirited. She's strikingly beautiful with that short hair of hers and legs that go on to the heavens. She is fun, talented at the same time. But all of that is not for Miss World. She is definitely for Miss Universe. And I hope that Nigeria, they take this one, but she needs to compete for the national competition for Miss World. Let her win Miss Universe Nigeria. And I'm telling you, she would go extremely far. You guys could place in the top 3 for the second time in a row if you took this girl to Miss Universe. Who knows? She might even win the title. She seems to see what needs to be done, because let me tell you something about Nigeria. Nigeria, for the longest time, they don't place because of the aggression they have on stage as well as the speech. And this girl, Miss Nigeria, she's a quick learner. She realized that in order for me to be heard, I need to mellow down with my speech. And she's done that. And I love the way she has mellowed down, but she's mellowed down for the wrong competition. She needs to be in Miss Universe. So now this is my advice, so that we don't see any of them now moving from Miss World to Miss Universe later in the year. Compete in your national competition. Get chosen legitimately rather than picked. All right, rather than picked, go and compete legitimately so that I can have my whole heart behind you as a commentator for these type of competitions. All right, I think as well I want to give grace perhaps to Somalia, because there's stuff going on there. They don't have a government, things are chaotic, and I understand why they choose. And I think now what they are doing, they are picking and choosing from different countries of refugee girls that are willing to compete either in Miss World or Miss Universe. I think for Miss Universe, they chose a girl from Canada, and then for Miss World, they chose a girl from England. And I think for the next Miss Universe, it's going to either be Australia or New Zealand. I doubt there'll be a girl coming from South Africa, because these Somalians that are in South Africa, they are extremely conservative. Extremely. These are the type that cover their heads and very, very traditional. And I'm sorry if I was offensive in what I described there. I'm trying to talk about their conservativity. It's too extreme, so I don't think they'll pick anyone from here. But I think they rotate them wherever they may be as refugees and interested in representing Somalia in these competitions. So I don't know what your thoughts regarding these 10 women that I have picked out from this Miss World competition. And it's just 10 of them, interestingly enough. I thought there would be more, but no, it's just 10. Just 10. And let's recap them. Miss Philippines, Miss Jamaica, Miss Brazil, Miss Turkey, Miss France, Miss Scotland, Miss Indonesia, Miss Cote d'Ivoire, Miss Japan, and Miss Nigeria. Y'all need to compete at Miss Universe. Wrong competition at Miss World. My opinion, guys, if this does not sit well with you, I'm sorry, tough. It's a competition at the end of the day. Other than that, guys, please don't leave this video without liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. I'll see you next time with a new video.